Okay folks, it's another recipe I'll try with the charcoal briquettes. The basic recipe before I add anything else is just corn flour and water. It's pretty much a very primitive type glue, and I'll try adding some rendered pork fat to it and then mix the powdered charcoal in there with it and just see if that first off, pork fat blends pretty well with this. Then add the powdered charcoal, and hopefully during the drying effect of the final product, it may give a little bit of more heat enhancement to the charcoal briquettes. So back soon. Okay, I'll just pour in the powdered charcoal, mix it up until we get a nice thick mixture. Thick enough to perform a mould, so I've got to stir that in, and I'll continue doing that until I get a nice thick mixture, and see how we go. Back soon. Okay, we're getting there. Starting to thicken up. Need to add more charcoal to it, but it's definitely starting to thicken up with the charcoal and all the other ingredients. So I'll just keep adding until I get the right texture. Back soon. Okay, I think this is the final mixture. It's fairly thick, like a very stiff dough, I suppose you could say. Doesn't fall off the spoon, so it's just about the right consistency to put into moulds or shape by hand. So it's looking pretty good. Just got to wait for it to cool down now before I do anything more with it, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, I've just started spooning this mixture out into moulds. There's one there for the big briquettes, and these are for the smaller ones. Now you can use any type of moulds you want. I'm just using these because I've got them. If you use wooden moulds using with the flour water solution, I would probably suggest that you lightly oil the inside of the woodwork with vegetable oil or something like that, just in case the flour and water solution adheres to the wood, unless you've got one of those moulds, of course, that you can pull apart, which may help too. Alright, that was quite a big batch, so I've got a lot more to do yet. This stuff is really starting to dry out very quickly. Okay, back soon. Okay folks, I've just made up some small balls out of this mixture. Much like the heat beads you find with barbecues and stuff. If you notice something different with this batch than the first batch, it's got a sheen to it, and that would be the pork fat. In fact, I just washed my hands, and I don't know if you can see it there. Okay, the water's beading off my hand. Now in the first batch that didn't happen. This batch it has, because I've added pork fat to it. So it'll be interesting to see if that inhibits the drying out of this or the hardness of it. So we'll see how we go with it. Back soon. Okay folks, well, that's all that recipe done. That's the powdered charcoal, the corn flour, water, and I've added some rendered pig or hog fat to the mixture as well. So it's in the moulds. These ones here, if the mixture is thick enough, you just roll around in your hand to shape it like kids do with Play-Doh. These ones here are silicon cupcake, patty cake doohickey things for making little cakes. They are reusable, so I'm told. So we'll see how those turn out. And of course we've got the big one there. Now I'll let it dry out for probably a day or two, at least until the outside hardens, and then I should be able to take these ones out of the molds like I did with the previous original recipe. Similar with these ones, I hope, and these ones too, so I can take them out of the molds, put them on a rack, and get the air circulating around them, either in front of the wood fire for heat if we don't if it's wet outside, or if we get a sunny day we just sit them outside in the sun and see what happens. So we'll see where we go from there. Back soon. Okay folks, well these are the charcoal briquettes with the rendered pork fat in them. Had them out in the sunlight, had a bit of sunlight today for about 3 hours or so, and you can see there that they're starting to harden up. The top is crusty, and of course as these dry out you get a bit of shrinkage with them too. These little balls here, pick them up, but you can see underneath there, I don't see in the camera, it's still very moist. Okay, so they're at the point now, the ones in this tray anyway, where I can take them out and put them on a rack in front of the wood heater tonight to help them dry out a little bit. They're still a little bit soft, but they're manageable, they won't fall apart. These little ones here, same story again. That's the top. You see it's starting to crust up a bit, but underneath, because it's sitting in a cup, there's still quite a bit of moisture there. So they're at a stage now where they've hardened up enough for me to again put in front of the wood heater tonight to help them dry out. Just put that one back in there. This one here, these are the large briquettes, and you can see there the condensation. Okay, that's the water coming out of the binding solution. Top is quite hard to touch. I'll probably let that go another day before I take those out of there, and just rotate them upside down and sideways to get a more even drying pattern out of them. So because these are much bigger, it's going to take longer to dry because there's still a lot of moisture inside them. That's got to come out. It's got to be dry, bone dry. Alright, back soon. Okay folks, these are the charcoal briquettes with the rendered fat, and it's been less than 24 hours, and I had them sitting beside the wood heater last night. They're starting to harden up quite a bit. Of note, these ones here, these are the ones that came out of that cake pan there. That's a non-stick pan, so you don't have to worry about it sticking in there and falling apart. And of course there's a bit of shrinkage too as this dries out. But of note, this is the underside of it. This is what was sitting on the bottom of the pan here, and if you can see the sheen on there, it's still very, very damp and a little bit on the soft side. So that's why I've removed them from the cake pan, put them on the rack, so today when I light up the fire I can get the air circulating around them. These are the little beads or balls. They've hardened up quite well on the outside anyway, so give them a couple of more days. These are the ones that came out of these cupcake thingamajigs, and there's one thing I'm learning already, that using this type of thing and shaping the powdered charcoal it's got to be compressed, and unfortunately using it in here, just press it in like you do a normal cake mix or something like that, it wasn't compressed enough, so the texture of this is a lot more, shall we say, loose, not as compact as the larger bricks and these ones here and the balls or the beads. So it's something to keep in the back of your mind if you want to do something like this with charcoal powder. it's got to be fairly well compressed, and it takes me back to the days when I was living in Melbourne in the 70s. A lot of heaters down there used compressed coal briquettes, and basically it was just coal powder, coal dust, compressed into briquettes, something about this size, albeit it was a very dirty coal, brown coal, but that's what a lot of people use, so it works on the same principle, I guess. Powdered coal, powdered charcoal. So anyway, we'll let this dry out for a few more days. We've got more wet weather coming in, so it's going to have to be done in front of the wood fire. And after these are dried out, then I'll do a video burn tests on the two different types, and see how it goes. You're going to have to use some sort of naked primary flame source to get these going. They won't. I don't think they're going to light off a fire steel or anything like that. But that's all right. The main thing is that these will give out a longer, consistent heat for damp tinder kindling, more so firewood, so that they should burn a lot more slowly with more heat, more consistent heat, and we'll see how we go with it. Alright folks, back soon. Okay folks, this is the charcoal briquettes with a mixture of corn flour, water and rendered animal fat. They're drying out quite well actually. A little bit on the soft side, so I don't know whether it's because I suspect that it's because it's got animal fat rendered mixed in with the corn flour and water, but they certainly hardened up and dried out quite a bit. So, because I had them in front of the fireplace again last night, and I actually did a test burn on one of these little ones. It takes quite a bit of heat to get these going, but once it was fully on the burn, that particular time I got about over half an hour burn time out of this. And when they burn down in complete, just ash, like wood ash. So anyway, I'll do another video later on comparing the two. The heat source, yes, you do need a lot of heat to ignite these, but once they're going, they throw off quite a bit of heat. Much the same as charcoal you find in old fireplaces, campfires and that sort of thing. You can also use those too, but once again, just using plain old charcoal left over from fires, whether it be your wood heater or wood stove or campfire. It takes quite a bit of heat to get those ignited up to a full burn, but they last quite a while, and more sustainable heat over a longer period of time. Alright, thanks for watching. Next video I'll be doing a burn rate on these and see how we can ignite them.